Hello dear students, good evening everyone. So I'm just trying something very new, just need your support for it. So hi students, ఎలా ఉన్నారు? ఈ రోజు మన ఫిజిక్స్ లైవ్ సెషన్ చివరి రోజు. మీరు అంతా స్కోర్ ఎగ్జామ్ రాస్తున్నారా? నా పేరు నీరజ్ అగ్నిహోత్రి, యువర్ ఫిజిక్స్ నీట్ మెంటర్. So today is our last session for the score physics, which we were eagerly waiting. And definitely we are going to crack this exam. In Sri Chaitanya, you will be getting a chance to compete with all India level brains and the students who are much better, much best, whatever you can say, and you are also on the same platform, and you yourself is making the platform because you yourself is a competitor. Am I right? Who is giving competition to the other students. So best wishes for the score exam, which is happening on 28th of September and 12th of October. So welcome to Sri Chaitanya, India's largest scholarship exam, which is going to be held, where you will get 2.5 crores cash rewards, 350 crores scholarship, NASA trips, exciting gadgets, up to 100% scholarship, and your photo with a scholarship here. Very important. Am I right? You just be a part of that journey, and we are eagerly waiting for you to compete, to give competition to others. So be there on this platform, just eagerly waiting your name. So it is, exam pattern and style we discussed in the previous slides also. I hope you have gone through the previous slides. Previous two mock tests, they were very good, in which we have seen that how to implement the concepts, how to understand the concepts, and how quickly we can solve the questions. Am I right? So test type is NEET, since we are going with the NEET, and in that pattern we'll be having 30 questions of physics, chemistry, botany, and zoology. And right now I'm focusing on the physics, and here we are talking about the mechanics, which will ensure you your rank in the final NEET exam in which you are appearing for. And first reward we will give you, Sri Chaitanya will give you, that you have done something very best for yourself. Yes. And just waiting for you. You are the topmost brain. You should compete with others and tell them I am the best. Yes. Now, exam duration is 120 minutes and MCQ type will be there. And in today's session, I have picked few of the questions which are very nice, very good, very simple. But only thing is, you just need a bit of concentration in understanding and in executing. That's it. Nothing more than that. Very simple thing. Very simple. Done? See. Don't forget, it is very important. Don't forget that you have not registered score exam. Very important. And exam dates, as said, 28th of September, 12th of October, and you are having the registration link down there. Enroll yourself very quickly. Okay. Now, mock test 3, and the tagline is practice creates the perfection. So this is our ultimate day, that is mock test number 3, which will amplify your knowledge, amplify your thoughts, and the things in which you are feeling bit low, now it will be very amplified and you will be having sufficient knowledge. Condition is there. You should be writing with me when I am writing on the board. It's very important. Now, agenda of the session, the agenda is same, to help you to crack score and then final NEET. And what the score, why this score agenda, it matters for us. It's like, because we will be finding the similar pattern questions in the final score exam in which you are appearing for, right? And we have mixed the distribution of the problems there. Right now we will be solving the problems also, solution and discussion will be there, and shortcuts wherever required definitely will be shared to you. And high impact on the formula drill. No doubt formulas are very important. In today's last session, I will be focusing on the formulas. Formulas in the sense, not like just the formula, but why these formulas are very, very important to us. Am I right? Yes, yes, Manohar. Nice, nice. Yes, great. Welcome, and hope you will note down each and everything right now. Yes. So recap and assignment is definitely going to there because we'll be writing something there. And in today's session, what we will do, I will frame the equations and the some of the questions I will give you as an homework so that you can solve by your own, because everything I will be writing on the board. You just note down and then you solve the equations by your own. So answers will be reflected there only. So there is no chance of like you are not getting the answer for that too. But I will be writing the equations. I will be drawing the diagrams for you so that you should understand. Yes. Nice. So you must be noting, everyone must be noting this stuff. It is very, very important. Today's session is very, very important. Now, there, what all we are going to discuss. Am I right? The first point, basic concepts, definite, because we are having some fundamental questions. So in the previous discussions, we have introduced some of the fundamentals, and in today's session also we'll be introducing some more fundamentals. Am I right? And then we are going how to approach for the questions of the numericals analysis, calculus method. I will tell you today a very simple method with which you can solve the question. Are you getting? In which the calculus is involved. So I have seen most of the NEET students, they struggle. Am I right? Sir, I am getting integration, how to solve? So I am trying my level best for today for you, that when I will be solving one question for you, you must be very attentive and just focus what I am saying. If you will understand that concept by today itself, then you will be knowing each and everything, how to solve that question. Yes? Then we are having definitely some of the graphical method also. Done? Now, but I hope that when you will be doing these questions, I will be giving you some assignments in the format. I will write each and every question for you. I will draw every diagram whatsoever is necessary, and I will make you to understand how and why we are executing these steps. So you just memorize it. Don't forget. And if you are struggling somewhere, just see the previous videos, because previous videos is having ample knowledge. I tell you it is having the ample knowledge. Are you getting my point? So if you go with the previous videos also and with the last video which we are having right now before score exam, if you will do it, it will be very beneficial for you. I tell you, your mechanics will be one of the strongest. I'll tell you that. Being a NEET student, being a NEET mentor, because I know NEET Physics is not difficult. It is just a bit different in 2025. So it is expected in the upcoming exams. Am I right? But what we people will discuss here will be the very fundamental, whatever pattern you will be getting in the final NEET exam whenever you are supposed to write. But the fundamentals always remains same. Higher concepts never become higher until we have the fundamentals. So fundamental pile up, you are getting higher concepts. So fundamental strong means higher concepts are very strong to you. Am I right? So we'll be discussing about this, some fundamentals here today. So be very active, proactive I could say. When I'll be drawing the diagram, you are writing on your notebook and you should answer right away, though it will be reflected here, but you should solve by your own. Am I right? Now, the first question there comes. It's a very nice question. What is that? See, a particle, the first question is there. What is there in the first question? See, a particle is tied to an ideal string. It is willed in a vertical circle of radius L. If the ratio of the maximum and the minimum tension throughout the motion is like 2:1. 2:1. The ratio we are expecting. Am I right? Then what is the maximum speed of the particle? What it would be? Am I right? And you can see the option here. It is already given as A, but we'll be solving right now how to execute this idea. Let's see this. See, I hope you will be drawing this diagram right now. So I'm just waiting for your approach. See, this was a circle which we have drawn, and this was the point as lowest point. So lowest point is having VL as the velocity, tension as TL. At this point, beta, we are having VH as highest point velocity, and here TH as the highest point tension. Am I right? And when we are writing for mg, mg is also acting here, mg act downward, and mg is also acting downward. So what is the format that I can write for lowest point? If I write beta for the lowest point, if I write TL is in the upward direction, mg is in the downward direction, which is equal to what beta? It is m VL square by L. That is the first value. Am I right? For the first equation, for the lowest point. And when we are writing for the highest point, when we write, then at the highest point, it is what? TH plus what? Mg, because both are acting in the downward direction, is equal to what beta? M VH square by L. So I formed these two equations, and from this equation, TL by TH is 2:1. TL by TH is what beta? 2:1. I hope you have understood this idea. There I have written the lowest point. There I have written the highest point. Am I right? So this is TH plus Mg is equal to M VH square by L. TL minus Mg is equal to M VL square by L. So I am having first equation, second equation, and this one is the given equation. That is a given value in the question. Am I right? And lastly, what should I write? What should I write? Because I want to have the relation between VL and VH. So to find VL and VH, I will apply energy conservation. I will apply the energy conservation. So what does this energy conservation says, beta? Energy conservation says that total energy at the lowest point, which is only kinetic energy, is equal to total energy at the highest point, which is what? Half mvh square. And if you consider beta this as the reference, so potential energy here it will be 0. So that's why I have not written potential energy here. And at the highest point, it is what beta? Half m vh square plus what? Potential energy. How much it is? Mg into what beta? 2L. Mg into what? 2L. So we are getting 4 equations rather. One for lowest point, second for the highest point, third one is a given condition, and fourth one is a energy conservation. Energy conservation is correlating VL and VH. Energy conservation is correlating what beta? VL and VH. So TL and TH is also giving some expression to us, and then what we are doing, we are putting these values here, we'll be getting that result. Am I right? So I'm leaving it to you an exercise, because we have formed 4 equations, because in which one was the given condition, other 3 we have applied for lowest point, for highest point, and the energy conservation. That's it. You put all the values, and the value so calculated comes out to be the option number A, which is root of 11g. So I am leaving it to you an exercise, because we have formed these 3 equations along with the one given condition. I think idea is very clear to everyone now. Yes. Okay. Now next point. We will go going with the next point now. See with it. So let me write the values here again. It was TL minus mg is equal to what? M VL square by L, and tension at highest point plus mg is equal to what? M VH square by L, and it was the given condition TL by TH as 2, and energy conservation, that was half m VL square is equal to what beta? Half m VH square plus mg into what? 12. So I want you should solve these 4 equations, and final answer for VL you will be getting square root of 11 GL. Done? Yes, beta. Hello, beta. Hello. So I hope everyone is writing on their copy. It's very, very important. Very important. Done? Let's move on to next question. It's nice question. He says a solid sphere roll without slipping. I just want to tell you in this session, I have focused more on the rolling motion, because rolling motion is the ultimate, you can say, the topic of the mechanics in which everything is applicable. Am I right? So I am focusing more on it right now. Done? See, a solid sphere rolls without slipping and passes a spring of spring constant K as shown. This is their spring, and then compression in the spring will be. So what has happened? This sphere was rolling like this, and when it hit the spring, it has pushed it up in that way so that they get compressed by certain distance x. Am I right? Certain distance x, it get compressed. Am I right? So what we are expecting here in this question, that we should conserve the energy, because we are not expecting any loss of energy anywhere. Done? Now listen. What is the energy right now in this condition? In this condition, what is the energy? It is like half. Mass is m, velocity is v square, because it was moving with the v, and it is also rotating, so it is also possessing what? The rotational kinetic energy, which is half I omega square is equal to the energy which will get definitely stored in the spring as what? Half kx square. Am I right? So when we are writing I is the moment of inertia. Since it is given it is a solid sphere, so solid sphere moment of inertia, it is 2 by 5 mr square. This is the first thing. And since it is also given, it is a pure rolling motion. It is a pure rolling motion. When it is a pure rolling motion, then we definitely write V is equal to what? R omega for pure rolling motion. For the pure rolling motion, we write V is equal to what, beta? R omega. So I, you have just written 2 by 5 mr square. Am I right? Put that stuff here. What we are getting? Half m v square, half 2 by 5 m r square omega square is equal to what, beta? Half kx square. And you can easily put r omega as what, beta? V. R omega is what? V. I think idea is very clear to everyone now. Am I right? Because we are expecting our answer in terms of V also. So R square omega square can be written as V square. So this two get cancelled, and I leave it to you this as an exercise so that you should solve by your own. Am I right? Yes, beta. Translational rotational plus translational kinetic energy is equal to the potential energy stored in the spring. Yes, very nice. Manuva. Great. So I hope you have understood this idea, beta. Means I think you will solve this calculation, half m v square, half I omega square. I is what? 2 by 5 mr square. And you put the value of I here, half 2 by 5 mr square omega square. What is r omega, beta? It is V. So we are putting r omega as V, and we are solving it, and we will be getting our final result, which is the option number D. So I hope you will calculate this value also, beta. Am I right? Yes. Next. The MT03, that third question. Let's solve this third question. Very simple question. Very simple question. What is that? Just want to tell you that you might have studied, beta, center of mass concept. Everyone might have not, means you definitely have studied that too. And in this concept of center of mass, what we are having, we locate a point where we can concentrate whole mass of the system. Am I right? And in this question, in order to locate any center of mass, what is the format to be used? I tell you, x, you call it as the coordinate, for the center of mass, summation of mi xi xi mixi by summation of mi, that is the x coordinate. Am I right? Now just want to tell you a very shortcut, because in this question a square shaped hole of side a by 2, this side is what? A by 2. It is carved out, means it is removed from it, whose distance from here is what? A by 2. Am I right? And uniform circular disc of radius a, because this disc is of radius a. So where does the center of mass remaining lies? It is, answer is minus a by x. Answer is what? Minus a by x. Find the value of x which is nearest to this integer. So we'll be finding what would be that value. Just want to tell you what is the value, how to find this answer. Because x coordinate we are looking for, we know it is m1 x1. Removed mass you can say it is m2 x2. So what is the net mass here? m1 minus m2. Since masses are not given to us, so we are focusing with the sigma. Sigma is what? Surface mass density. Surface mass density is what? Mass by area. We are focusing on it. Am I right? So I am replacing this mass with sigma into area. So I am writing what for this concept? I am writing what for this concept? I am writing x coordinate m1 as sigma, am I right, into area into x1 minus sigma into area into x2 by sigma area minus sigma area. Since sigma is same for everyone, am I right? Since sigma is what? Same for everyone, am I right? So we can say sigma will cancel out bete. So we are getting a1 x1 minus what bete? a2 x2 by what beta? a1 minus a2. So what is a1 basically? a1 is a disk whose area is what? Pi a square. Am I right? a2 is what? a2 is the carved out square. This one is what? A by 2. This one is what? A by 2. This area become what? A square by 4. That's it. And if you call what is the value of x1? Since whole disk center of mass, if you consider it is lying at the origin itself, so x1 for this case will be 0, and this case distance is d, and d is given to you as what? A by 2, right? A by 2. So we can write the x2 value is what? It is A by 2. So if you are putting that stuff there, this term will get 0. A2 is what? A square by 4. X is what? A by 2 by a1 minus a2. What is a1? Pi a square minus a square by 4. So if you are solving this idea, beta, this comes out to be minus a by 2 into 4 pi minus 1 as the answer. Am I right? So what is the value of pi basically? It is 3. 3 2s are 3 2s are 6. 6 2s are 12. So it is 4 3s are 12. 12 minus 1. And you can multiply with the 2. So you are getting, yes Aditya, yes Aditya, yes Agnihotri sir, this is. I hope you are focusing right now what we are discussing. Am I right? Everyone, because we are having very limited time, so I just want that you should be writing and you should understand this, all the concepts which we are discussing. Yes. Because there it is asked for the disk. If it is for volume, you can write same format with the volume. If length is asked, you can write same format with the length. So there is no way out, like, very different. Am I right? The format is like this. If area is to be there, then you go with the area. If length is there, you go with the length. If volume is there, you go with the volume. I think idea is very clear to everyone now. Done? Yes, nice. And I hope you can multiply and solve this answer. So for this question, the answer is D, whose option is like 23. So I just want that you should solve by your own. Am I right? Next point. Fourth question. Now it's very amazing question. Most of the NEET students, whenever find such type of equations, such type of values, they usually get confused. Sir, how I know that this result, how can I remember this? I usually advise them, whenever you are getting some equations like this, not to get worried about, just apply by considering 2 or 3 formats. 2 or 3 formats means what? Just consider only 2 spheres are there or 3 masses are there. When you solve for them, then you are getting the answer. So let me tell you what it means. So right now I am focusing on 3 masses. So if I write what is the moment of inertia about this axis OA, so I will be writing for M, mass M, length is what? L. Another mass is again M, and length is what? 2L square. Am I right? And this mass is M, and into what beta? 3L square. So what is the answer what we are expecting for it beta? OA, we are getting ML square plus 4ML square plus 9ML square become what beta? 14. So IOA become what? 14ML square. So this is the answer. Am I right? Now let me see where I can put the value, you can get the answer. Since you have seen, I have used 3 masses. How many masses we have used beta? 3 masses we have used. 3 masses. So when I have used 3 masses, 1, 2, 3, 3 masses I have used. So I must be putting my n as what? 3. And after putting 3 here everywhere, wherever I will get my 14 answer, that is my answer. Am I right? So if I put 3 here, this becomes 3 square 9, 9 by 6, not the answer. 0 is not there. If I put 3 here, this is 3. 3 plus 1, 4. 4 3s are 12. 12 by 2 is what? 6. So that is also not the option. Let me try out here. 3, 3, 3. 3 to the 6, 6 plus 1. This becomes 7. 3 plus 1 become what? 4, 3 by 6. So 4 3s are 12. 4 3s are 12. This is 6. This is 12 getting what? 2. 7 2s are what? 14. So your answer becomes 14 ml square. So your answer to this question is B. I think idea is very clear. Yes, beta, sum of natural numbers. But Manuba Narasimha Rao, I just focused on that when you are getting such stuff in the NEET exam, don't ever get confused. Sir, I am not knowing sum of natural numbers. I am not knowing sum of square of the natural numbers or cube of that. Nothing to worry. Always follow max to max 3 must write 3 values. If you write, then you just generalize it for n. Then put that value just like I did. I have used only 3 values. I found 14 ml square. Then I said I have used 3 masses, so I am getting 14. So I put 3 everywhere in these equations. So I found my answer comes out to be for this value. Am I right? So that is the answer. Even if you don't remember square or the cube of the sum of the natural numbers, even that it will work. I hope you have understood this idea very well. Yes. Now next point. This was there, so just discussed. It was very simple concept. Now let's move on to next point. It is also a very nice question. Say, a slender rod of length L is hinged about and it is swing freely vertically in the vertical plane. Am I right? Just like this is the rod, I can say this is the rod. Am I right? And I have fixed it here, and it can rotate in the vertical plane because this is a vertical plane. Plane means what? But just like this is the page. If I put it like in front of camera, it is a vertical plane. If I put it like this, then it is a horizontal plane. I think idea is very clear. Am I right? Let me get the pen. Just for the sake of knowledge, that if I draw a circle here like this, if you can see the circle here, am I right? Can you see the circle? If I draw a circle here, so this is called as a circle, it is in the vertical plane, am I right? Because it is perpendicular to the earth. If I place circle like this is called as the circle is in the horizontal plane. So that is very simple thing. Now we can solve this idea. Its density is non-uniform and varies linearly. So must underline this word varies linearly. Varies linearly means y something like proportional to x. Y proportional to x means y proportional to x means what? equation of a straight line. That is called as a linear function. Am I right? Non-linear means not proportional to x, but it is directly proportional to x with raised to power 1. So we call it as what? Linear function. Now listen how to solve this question. So if I go up with the question, cylinder rod, mass m, length L, hinged about one end, freely vertically it can rotate. However, density is non-uniform, varies linearly, hinged at the free end, doubling its value. So from here, when you move from here to here, from here, density was rho naught if you consider, and if it reached here, density become rho naught, and rho is a density which is a function which must be proportional to x. That is point he says. Am I right? The word written is varies linearly. The word written is what? Varies linearly. So this is the point which we are focusing on right now. Rho is proportional to x. So we are writing it for. Okay. Now let's solve this question very quickly. So we'll move on to the next point there. And what is there? You can see that, let me draw here, beta. See, this was the rod. This was the rod which is given to us. This was the rod which was given to us. Am I right? There you may put x as 0. There you may put x as L. Am I right? Here density is given as rho naught, and here density is given as 2 rho naught. And if you generalize any point here with the coordinates x comma rho, so we need to find the function for the rho. So how to write for the function of rho? First you write, beta, just like you draw a straight line. Am I right? When you draw a straight line, then you write the slope. What is slope? You write y2 minus y1 by what? x2 minus x1. As what, beta? As what? It is the slope. As what? It is the slope. Am I right? And when we are writing y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1, which is the slope, so I'll be writing just like 2 rho naught minus rho naught by distance L minus 0 is equal to general point as this rho minus rho naught by, this is x, this is 0, so it's like x minus 0. So my main focus for this question is what? 2 rho naught minus rho naught is rho naught. 2 rho naught minus rho naught is what? Rho naught. Two rho naught, thank you. 2 rho naught minus rho naught is rho naught, and this become what, beta? Rho naught by L, am I right? Is equal to what? Rho minus rho naught by x. And if you rearrange this value, beta, for the rho, this x goes to this side, rho naught comes to this side. So your rho become rho naught 1 plus x by L. Rho is equal to rho naught 1 plus x by L. Now I just want to tell you what does it mean. This was the rod, x was 0, x was L, rho was rho naught, this is rho naught, am I right? And you have marked any point with the coordinates x comma rho, and we just found that rho is rho naught 1 plus x by L is the function. Which we have found. Am I right? Is the function which we have found. Done. Now, next point which comes to our mind is what? Whether this function is correct or not. It is also very important. But listen this thing. Being a NEET mentor, and you as a NEET student, and you are as a score student, you must be knowing this idea. The function which you have obtained, is it relevant or not? So let's cross check. If you put x 0, so this becomes 0, all right? So rho become rho naught. So you can see when x is 0, what is density? It is rho naught. Now if x is L, L by L is what? 1. 1 plus 1 is what? 2. So when x is L, density become what? 2 rho naught. So that is the answer for it. I think idea is very clear to everyone now. Am I right? So rho is equal to rho naught into what? 1 plus x by L. So question asked is, what is the moment of inertia of the rod about the rotation which is passing through the hinge point? So let me consider I have hinged at this point. So I just will go with the two steps here. First, I will be calculating the dm as a mass. You know it very well, beta. It is a linear mass density. It is a what, beta? Linear mass density. I am calling right now here linear mass density as rho. Just I have given the notation, nothing else. Am I right? So dm as a linear mass density, which is equal to density into length. So you must put the value of rho here. What is the value of rho here? It is rho naught 1 plus x by L into what? Dx and integrate. When you integrate, you will get total mass, because in the final answer, we are having the total mass also. Am I right? We are having the total mass also. So we must be having total mass value. Okay. So you are getting rho naught into what? Dx integration plus 1 by L integration x dx from 0 to L. So just giving you this as an exercise. As I told you, we are just 4 days away from our score exam. So if you will try out this, writing this and try out this integration, it will be very fruitful for you. Am I right? It will be very fruitful for you. So you must be knowing this, that how to execute these ideas. Just a second. So I think you must be knowing this, that rho, what we have determined. So rho was like that, rho was rho naught 1 plus x by L. That was done. And after that, when we have discussed that too, that was the rho value which we have determined, and dm is rho dx, just like the definition, which is mass as linear mass density into length. So we have to solve this mass m. So I am leaving it to you that as an exercise. Am I right? Now mass you will determine here. Now the point is moment of inertia. So what is the definition of moment of inertia? It is, if you consider this mass as what, beta dm, and this distance as what, x. So what is the moment of inertia of point mass? Dm into what, beta x square. Di is equal to what? Dm into what? X square. So what is the value of di? You will be writing dm, and dm is what? Rho dx. So this become rho dx into what, beta? X square. So this become rho naught 1 plus x by L dx multiplied by what, beta? X square, multiplied by what? X square. So when we are writing for di, rho naught is constant, and you are multiplying dx into x square with the 1 by L. This is x into x square is what? X cube dx, like this. So in order to calculate total moment of inertia, so we will integrate. When you will integrate, this become what, beta? I as what? Rho naught. Then integral x square dx plus 1 by L x cube dx from 0 to L, Am I right? So when you will be calculating, you will be getting some value of rho naught with some value of L and with some value. Are you getting my point? So I am just leaving this to you an exercise because you have to calculate the mass. Integrate this result. X square integration is what? You know, x cube by 3, x 4 by 4. Integrate, solve, then compare the value of mass, because it was also having rho naught and L there. Put the values there, rearrange, and you will be getting the value of I, which we have solved, and the option comes out to be the C. So I advise you, you should solve this mathematical step, because after 4 days, you are writing India's largest scholarship exam, in which you are giving the competition to others. So please don't lose this opportunity to give competition. Everyone is going after the competition, and you should be a part of that. and competition starts from you only. Am I right? Yes. Next point. It's a nice question. It's a really amazing question. If you solve, you will find it is just a matter of writing the equation, and it will be solving that too. So I'm just helping you out how to solve this question. Says figure shows an arrangement of a rod, this one, mass m, this one, and a bead m, bead. Now I just want to tell you what is happening in this question. Am I right? Means different the things you can think of any questions of physics the way you want to, but it should be appropriate. It should be appropriate thinking. Am I right? Wherever you people think that what I am thinking is nice. Are you getting my point? So what I mean to say, very simple, that when I am solving this question, I will be having some thoughts in my mind. Okay, this is the thought which is prevailing in my mind, and this thought is revealing something very nice to me. Am I right? So what is that? See, a bead is attached to it, massless string passing over a frictionless pulley. When T was 0, bead was lying at the lower end of the rod. Am I right? And the bead is in level with the lower end of the rod. That is given. The bead slides down the string, because this string you can't find. Bead, when we just pray for anything, then we bead that. Am I right? We have the beads over the string, in which if you beat them the beads are going along the string in the downward direction when you are putting like that. Am I right? In the same way, we are having the bead and we are having sufficient string where bead can slide up to the anywhere level. I think you are getting my point. Means we have enough string. Am I right? And bead is just passing. What I can say, one thing is, listen this thing very carefully. One thing is like this. This is a string which is passing through it. Am I right? If you can see, it is passing through it. This is bead, which is this is the bead. This is the string which is passing through it, where the bead can slide. But if you have a body and if you have a bead and you just tied this end with the bead, then bead will not slide along the string. Bead will not slide along the string. Here is only what? Bead is there. Am I right? And this bead is able to slide along the string like this. My hand is getting down. If I tied this bead somewhere, then bead will not slide there. It will just move with the string, whether moving up or moving down. I think idea is very clear. Now, what is the idea? Friction is there and is opposite to the other end of the rod after t seconds. So what happened afterwards? Bead has moved. You may say it moved up, you may say it moved down, irrespective of your thinking, but we will be applying the fundamentals. What is in there? We will be doing that right now. Assuming the friction between the bead and the string to be constant throughout, the frictional force. So what is the frictional force which is acting? That is very, very important. Let's solve this question now. Idea is very clear. We are having a pulley, rod is attached, bead is attached. I told bead, through the bead string is passing. So bead can slide like this. Right now, when bead can slide like this, so bead will be experiencing the friction along the string in the upward direction. Am I right? Now listen this thing very carefully. On the next note, I can say there, you can see here, bead is moving down, with the force mg. Bead is in connect with this string, so string is giving the friction to this bead in the downward direction. Since on this string, being massless, this string is having some force which is friction, but being massless, it must be having a frictional force. Am I right? Why? Because to counterbalance the forces. Because for a massless body, a very important concept, for a massless body, net force and net torque are always zero. If they are non-zero, they may have infinite linear acceleration, they may have infinite angular acceleration, which is never possible for a massless body. Am I right? So friction is there, and here the tension is acting, because in the string tension will act. So I can write tension and friction both are equal for the string. Since this string is passing over there, so this you can write either tension or friction. Since we are focusing on friction only, so I am writing it the friction. Now, what is happening in this scenario? This was there, bead was there, as I told, string is long enough. Now what has happened? I have marked this side here. Am I right? This end is A, this end is B. So right now, what I am expecting from this question is that bead is also getting down. So friction, bead is experiencing upward. So this tension is there. This tension is also equal to what? The friction. Am I said? Tension is also the friction. So friction is acting in the upward direction. Am I right? It is not basically friction, it is basically the tension. So mg is acting in the downward direction. But what happens in the question? He said at time t, the bead is at the opposite end. Means initially it was end at A, and after when it has fallen through, it is now it is at the end B. So what I can say, this end is B. Am I right? So what happened afterwards? What happened afterwards? This has slided down. Am I right? Let you consider it has slided down like this. Am I right? This has slided down like this. And bead has moved to this position. Something like that. Am I right? Because this was end A, this was at end B there. Am I right? Because if you consider this mass is heavy, so it is moving down very fast, and bead is not connected with it, so bead is also sliding down. Are you getting? Other best part. If you say, sir, I want to consider bead is moving in the upward direction, doesn't matter. You can consider. But the fact is what? When you are getting your final answer, it will be having as per it is happening in the question. What I mean, if I consider downward direction as a motion, but I am getting my answer as negative. So negative answer means it is not downward, it is upward. That is the only difference which will come out in, which will most of the cases come out to be positive or negative. That's it. That doesn't make any very much difference in analyzing the question. Are you getting? So right now my focus is that the bead has moved like this and this has moved there. Am I right? So what we are expecting, I'm just giving you this idea now. Mass mg, friction upward. Let you call the bead whose mass is am, small m, is getting down. So I'm giving the notation this as an acceleration am. So what is the value of this? Mg minus friction is equal to m into am. I think idea is very clear. And now this was the FBD of small m. Now you write FBD of capital M. Capital M is also there. Capital M is experiencing tension there. This is basically not the friction, it is tension. Magnitude they are equal. This is capital Mg. Now you consider it is moving down with an acceleration capital M. So what is this value? Capital Mg minus friction capital M into A, that is acceleration of capital M. Now just want to tell you, the string is there. String is there. If they were attached, if they were fixed, then what has happened? If it was moving with the A, this is also moving with A, but both are moving with a different acceleration. It is happening only if length of the string is not constant. Only if the length of the string is what? Not constant. So idea is very clear to everyone. So I have formed two equations for the bead and for the mass capital M. So I left with only one equation. That equation is like what? So I am just giving you an idea you should solve. You formed one equation. Equation number 2 you formed. If you say for bead, what is the distance for the bead? You can say x of bead is equal to half acceleration of bead into what? T square. And if you are writing for the block, this is the block. For the block, what is the distance? X of the block, which is capital M, am I right? Which is half A capital M T square. So what is the relative distance between them? Because bead has to travel. Bead has to travel. So what is the relative distance? If you consider the relative distance, so relatively bead has traveled a distance L. Relatively, bead has traveled a distance what beta? L. Am I right? And you know, whenever you are writing S relative as displacement, U is 0 because initially they were at rest, half relative acceleration of bead with the block into what? T square. And acceleration of bead with respect to block is like AB minus AM. So you must be putting this stuff, you will be getting your answer. That is for sure. So I hope every one of you has understood this idea, what has happened in this question. It's a very nice question I have opted for you because this is one of the questions which is making you to think, that, the accelerations are not same. Why? Because beads are performing in their own way, and what the bead is doing, through the bead, string is getting introduced in the system. Am I right? There are certain questions, certain assumptions where you can say bead is moving down and block is moving up. Doesn't make any difference. Why? Because when you will solve your answer, you put their own values, you will be getting the final result. Am I right? So finally, my conclusion for you is what? Mg minus F is MAM for the bead. Capital Mg minus F is capital M into A, capital M for the block. Relative for bead, distance is this. For block, distance is this. So I have used this expression for you, which is very, very important for you to understand that S relative is half A Bm into what beta? T square as the answer, which you should be knowing. Am I right? So I think idea is very clear to everyone, beta. Is it clear to everyone? Am I audible to everyone? Can I get the response if someone is there who is looking at writing the notes? Yes? Okay. Yes. So let's solve this idea. What is that? Let's solve the next idea for the next question. Yes, beta. Nice. So finally, this equation, XBM, and XBM is this value, S relative, ABM you know, and put that value. Am I right? SBM is what? L, and you will be solving that too. Am I right? So this was over for this question. Let's move on to next point. Yes, it's also a very nice question with a proper differentiation level and very simple question, not a very difficult. Am I right? See, moment of inertia of a cylinder whose mass is m and length is L, radius is r, about an axis which is passing through its center and perpendicular to the axis of cylinder, which is given by this value. What does it mean? That you are having this cylinder and this is the axis which is perpendicular to it, and if cylinder is to be made in such a way for a given mass is not going to change. Ratio of L by R, what you should use, so that the moment of inertia is what beta? Minimum. That is the point which we are expecting, where this length is L and this radius is what? R. And along this axis, moment of inertia is given as I is equal to what beta? M R square by 4 plus what? L square by 12. So we have to get the relation between R and L. How to get? Since in this question it itself is saying that for a given mass, alright, means you are given with the mass, either you make full thin rod, either you make a flat disc, choice is yours, but what you should use L by R, so that moment of inertia about this axis must come out to be the minimum. How it comes? Let's see. I, we have written here, it was M into R square by 4 plus L square by 12. Since you can say the volume is constant, so when you say the volume is constant, it means volume of the cylinder is pi R square L. Am I right? Pi R square L. So either of it, like, let me change it a value of L or R square. So let me prefer it to change with the L. Am I right? What I mean, let me replace L with V by pi R square. So what is my final answer for L, putting L here? What is my final answer? I is M R square by 4. Put the value of L here, 1 by 12 as it is, and L as what? V square by pi square and r square, and since r square was there, so it should be r4. Am I right? So when we are writing di by dr, what does this value come out to be? M is there only, am I right? R square by 4 will be 2r by 4 plus 1 by 12 as it is, am I right? V square as it is, pi square as it is, but this was r4. So r4 goes up, this become r raised to power minus 4, am I right? D by dr of beta r raised to power minus 4 is what? Minus 4 r raised to power minus 5. Minus 5. So I must be putting minus 4 by r raised to power 5. So this get cancelled, this become what? 3. This get cancelled, this get what? 2 is equal to, let me write m r by 2 minus v square by pi square r5 into 3. And you know, whenever you are going for maxima and minima, what we always do? We put derivative is equal to what? 0. Differentiation is equal to what? 0. So if we put this differentiation is equal to 0, so what we are getting? M is not 0. So we must be writing r by 2 is equal to v square pi square r5 into what? 1 by 3. So I am leaving it to you. This is an exercise. You must put the value of v. What is the value of v? Pi r square L. Here, solve. Then you will be getting your result as C, which is root 3 by 2L as the answer. Am I right? Next question. Okay. A particle of mass m is projected with a velocity u, which is making an angle 30 degree with the horizontal. So what is the magnitude of angular momentum of projectile about the point of projection when the particle is at its maximum height? So what does it mean, beta? This is there. You have projected a body like this, beta. Am I right? And this angle is beta what? 30 degree. So we are expecting the angular momentum at this point. Since at this instant, it will be at this point and its height is like this. Am I right? This height is what? This height is what? It is h, whose value is given by u square sine square theta by what, beta? 2g. Am I right? U square sine square theta by what, beta? 2g. So if you put the values there, am I right? And you have to write the angular momentum. So it is angular momentum is what? Mu into what? R. Something like this. Am I right? So again, u is at highest point. U at highest point you will be saying, no? U at the highest point and R at the highest point. R as a distance, vertical distance. This is R. Am I right? Because I am not using the vector notation, I am just writing the result of angular momentum. The what was that? R is equal to m velocity v and R perpendicular, or sometimes we write m v perpendicular or R, but here we are using m v R perpendicular because R perpendicular is what? U square sine square theta by 2g. So you must be solving by your own. Okay. So when you put that stuff there, you will be getting this result. Formula uses mass m. Highest point velocity is what? U cos theta, root 3 by 2, something like that. Height is what? U square sine square theta by 2g. Theta is what? 30. Sine 30 is what? 1 by 2. 1 by 2 square is what? 1 by 4. 4 2s are 8. 8 2s are 16. So we are getting root 3 by 16 mu cube by g as our answer. Am I right? Now, next question. This is also a very nice question. A rod is inserted between the two identical blocks, and it's very important. This rod is massless. Am I right? Then he said when block A and B, they are being they are being what, they are being placed there, and when you are pushing it up there, then which of the block will move first? So this block and this block, A or B, both simultaneously, or only A or only B first? So this is our question of discussion here. and let's solve how to solve this idea. This was the force F, am I right? Since you can see A is having contact with there, A will exert force on the rod in this direction, B will exert the normal action here. Are you getting my point on the rod? Because B is here, it is in contact with the rod is like this. So B is giving push in this direction, A is giving push in this direction. So A is giving push in this direction and B is giving the push in this direction. Am I right? And there you can see the force applied and normal action, they are in same direction and they must be equal to there. Why? Because this is a light rod. And light rod simply means it's a massless thing. When it's a massless thing, net force on the massless thing must be what? Beta 0. So this is there. Now you can see here that NA is what? Less than NB. It means B will be experiencing the force here in this direction from the rod. A will be experiencing the force in this direction from the rod. Am I right? Am I right? So, but B is normal action is more than that of A. So, B will slide first. That is our answer. B for this option. I hope you have understood this idea. It is very, very simple. Next question. Done. I think this one is done. A man of mass M, which stands at one end of the plank of length L, which lies at the rest of the, the frictionless surface, and the man walks to the other end. This is something very important. Mass of the plank is m/3. Then the distance that the man moves relative to the ground. It is very important. Am I right? So let's solve this question. It is like this is there. This x is what? 0. Man was here only. Right? Now what has happened that man has moved to this end is P, this end is Q. If you want to consider the way you want to, any way you want to consider, you can solve this idea. Let me consider this point. When man has moved in this direction, beta, you just consider this block has moved, this plank has moved distance x towards left side. Now man has reached to this point. If plank has not been displaced, then it has moved for a distance L. But plank has displaced a distance x. So how much man has moved? This is our question to find. Am I right? Now how to solve this question, beta? How to solve this question? See, there is just a direct formula, that is the relative displacement of this value of x whenever you are finding, that is m mass of the man multiplied by the x relative for the man to be displaced by the total mass, So if you are finding that value, mass is m given, relative displacement of the man, which is with respect to plank, is what? L, and it was given m plus m/3. You got the value of x. Am I right? Since in the question it is asked how much man has moved, so this has moved with the distance x naught. Am I right? And if you are finding for x naught, so what is the value of x naught? Because x is this which you have calculated, total was L. So what is the value of x naught? It is L minus x. I think idea is very clear to everyone now. So this is the answer for this question. Am I right? You can solve these ideas better. M plus m/3 and put the values. You will be getting your final answer, which is answer number L/4. Done? Now, next question. It is also a very simple question. What is that? The question is, a ball falls vertically onto a floor with a momentum P, then bounces repeatedly. If coefficient of restitution is E, then what is the momentum imparted by the ball on the floor? Am I right? So how to solve this question? This was there. So it was hitting. Am I right? Then getting up, then again getting down. So question asked is, what is the total momentum imparted? So total momentum, when you write beta, it is the change in momentum. Okay. Done. So total momentum, we are solving it for total momentum. Total momentum is what? The change in momentum, am I right? Which is imparted. So for the first collision, ball was getting down, momentum was P. When it was getting up, momentum becomes EP. Am I right? Because change is what? Final minus initial. Initial is also minus of minus that. So it become what? Plus. Then for the next case, it become EP as initial. As I said, collision is happening like this. Goes up, then get down. Goes up, then get down. Like that. Am I right? Then this is for the next collision. EP plus E square P plus E square P plus E cube P plus so on. Like that. Am I right? Now we have to find the total momentum. So what is the total momentum, beta? Total momentum is like, when I am writing like this, let me add P here and let me subtract P here. Why? Because this P plus P is becoming 2P. EP plus EP is becoming 2PE. E square P plus E square P is becoming 2P E square plus so on in the last minus P. So what we are writing? 2P as common. Am I right? In the bracket, 1 plus E square plus so on minus P. Something like that. And this become a GP series. And when you are writing for the GP series, what is the sum of the infinity terms for the GP series? First term by 1 minus common ratio as E. So what we are writing for P total? We are writing P total as what? It was 2P here. This become 1 by 1 minus E and minus what, beta? P. So what we are getting? 2P by 1 minus E minus P. So when you solve, P become 1 plus E by what? 1 minus E as my answer to this question. Am I right? So this was the previous question which we have solved. Okay. So this comes out to be D option, P into 1 plus E by 1 minus E as the answer. Am I right? Now next question is question number 12. Question number 12 says that it is mg which is getting down, tension is acting in the upward direction, this T is acting in the downward direction, and it is given to you that this is a disk. So moment of inertia about this end of the disk is what? It is mr square by 2. It is what? Mr square by what? 2. Am I right? And it is getting down with an acceleration A. And it is also rotating around it. Am I right? So when we are solving this, T here, mg down, and it is also rotating with alpha, T is acting in the downward direction. So we are writing TR as a torque for this is equal to TR as a torque for this, and that is equal to moment of inertia, which is mr square by 2 into alpha. This is for torque equation for the disk, and for this block it is mg minus T is equal to what? Mass into acceleration. This is for the block. Am I right? And it is also what, beta? Rotating. So we are writing A is equal to what, beta? R alpha. We are getting A is equal to what, beta? R alpha. Okay. Yes, beta, sure, we'll give you the suggestion. Don't worry. Okay. A is equal to what? R alpha. So we are getting TR is equal to mr square by 2 alpha, mg minus T, and A is equal to what? R alpha. So what is my advice? That it is asked what is the tension in the cord. So we have to find the value of T here. Am I right? And R alpha, if you put 1 R will definitely get cancelled out. So T become what? M by 2 into what, beta? R alpha. So R alpha can be put, you can put it as what? A, and rearrange these three equations. This equation, this equation, this equation. These three equations you rearrange and you will be getting that result too. Am I right? So this is the answer. Now next question. Next question is also very simple. Says we have applied the force on this hemisphere and it is such that when you have applied this force, that hemisphere will tilt like this. Am I right? Tilt like this. It is about to rotate like that. Am I right? But the condition is at this instant when it is about to rotate, how the value of alpha that you will determine. It is very important and very simple. Let's solve this idea. See, you have applied the force F here. This is the center of mass. Am I right? Its center of mass for a hollow hemisphere always lie, because it is given as it is a spherical ball. Am I right? So its center of mass lies at r by 2. So F you have applied, r by 2 is there, and we are expecting that it is perpendicular to the limb as the shown and instantaneous angular acceleration alpha. So when you apply this force beta, it is about to rotate about its center of mass. This is the center of mass. Am I right? So let's solve this question. This is the center of mass which we have applied, which is at a distance what beta? R by 2. Am I right? And it is about to rotate with the alpha. It is about to rotate with the alpha. So first I will apply the torque equation. Torque equation is what? F into R. Torque equation is what? F into R by 2 is equal to what? Moment of inertia about this point. This. So if you are calculating the moment of inertia about this point, because this point for hemisphere, you know, it is 2 by 3 mr square, and this is the center of mass. If you apply the parallel axis theorem, which is IC, and IC is equal to this axis 2 by 3 mr square minus mass is m into what? R by 2 square. That is the value of IC. Am I right? Since it is rotating about the center. So when you are solving this F into R by 2 and put the value of IC into what? Alpha. So when you will be putting this value, you will be getting the value of alpha only. Am I right? So that is the answer for this question, which was your question number 13. So my advice that you must solve this question, since I have given you every equation for that stuff. Am I right? So it was about to roll about there, and about center of mass it will rotate. So that's the answer for this question now. Now next question. It is again a uniform chain of length 2L. So this was L. This was also L. So we always ignore the length which is on the, what you can say, on the pulley. Am I right? So what is given to us that when it was just given an imbalance, because it was just moved in this direction, initially they were L, they were equal. So when they moved in this direction, X here, X reduced here, so it will get down like that. So we are finding that what would be the velocity when it slips out of the, like this. Am I right? So just want to tell you what is happening in this case. See, if here you consider this distance has moved upward by x, so this distance has moved down by x. So on this side, if L was, lambda is a linear mass density, so what is this length now? This will become lambda is a length L plus x on the right hand side, and since it has moved up by this distance, so this is the length which we are left with, which is what? Lambda L minus x. Am I right? So what is happening there? It is getting down. So lambda L plus x minus mg of this. What is that value? That is lambda L plus x as a mass into what? Into what? The gravity. Into what? The gravity minus the tension here is equal to what? The tension which is acting here, T. Am I right? And will equate. And what is the mass of this? It was lambda L plus x into A as a acceleration, because it has moved. Am I right? Instantaneous acceleration we are writing. And for this side, it is what? Lambda L minus x into g, as the mg acting in the downward direction and T is acting in the upward direction, is equal to what? Lambda L minus x into what? A. So I'm just giving you this as an exercise also again. I have formed these two equations. Let me tell you again. Initially, these were the lengths. After that, what has happened? After that, this has moved up. Am I right? And this has moved down. You can see it has moved down. So this length has become now L plus x. This length has become now L minus x. So we are applying the tension here. We are applying the tension like this here for this body. Am I right? So we have written two equations of motion. So when you will find A somewhere here, how to find? Add these two values. T get cancelled with the T. Lambda L cancelled with the L. So we are getting 2 lambda xg. Am I right? And there also lambda x plus L into lambda L minus x. So you will be getting A as a sum like x into g. You may find 2 is coming or not, 3 is coming or not. Am I right? So when you are solving this question, acceleration you got xg. So when you are getting xg, then what is the velocity? To find? Because in the question it is asked, find the velocity when it slips off. So for a velocity, acceleration should be written as a function of x. So it is a v dv by dx is equal to what, beta? Xg. This is the answer to it, this question. Am I right? Then you get to the other side and integrate that equation. I think idea is very clear to everyone. Am I right? It was LL each. It moved up. This moved down. I said at any instant it was x. So it was x what? Reduced. I have written the equation of motion for that particular instant, then found the value of A. And that A can be written in terms of x as what? V dv by dx as our answer. So that is the answer to that question too. Am I right? Next. Two cars P and Q. They are moving on a road in the same direction. Acceleration of a car P increases linearly with the time. So meaning acceleration of P is linearly, you may say it is proportional to time as kt. And whereas car Q is moving with a constant acceleration. So acceleration of car is A, which is constant. Am I right? Both the cars cross each other. Since in this question, nothing is given to you, whether they are moving in the same direction or they are moving in the opposite direction. So if they are moving in the, you can say, the same direction and acceleration of P with respect to Q. So I must be assuming if T was 0, P was, acceleration was 0, but this was having some acceleration. And since nothing is given about the initial velocities, so I have to assume something for it. Am I right? So what do I say for it? I can say that if it is P and if it is Q. Am I right? So acceleration of P and acceleration of Q. And if I write acceleration of Q with respect to P, so I must be writing A minus kt. And body is moving in this direction. So what will happen? At some time, acceleration will get 0. Am I right? Acceleration will definitely get what? 0. So then retardation is going to happen. So then a body will stop somewhere and it will get back. You consider this P is at rest only. So how many times they have crossed each other? They have started their journey here and you keep this P as at rest. It will move in this direction. Retardation is acting, getting back. So it will meet this P point 2 times. Is there any option? No. So it means if they are moving in the same direction, then they will meet only twice because this Q will stop somewhere and it will get back. And if you consider P is here only, but Q has moved in this direction, what will happen? Q will move there, stop somewhere, then meet, and he said including T0. Including T0. So first meeting is taken as T0, then again there, again it goes there, it get back again here. So how many times it has come to the same position to meet P? 1, 2, 3, because T0 is also to be considered. So for our option for this question is question number what, beta? It is 3 times they will meet. I think idea is very clear to everyone. Now next question. So I am just giving you this question as an exercise. Why? Because this question I have already discussed in the previous slide, but here I have changed the format, and format is like bullet is going to hit and it will make this block to slide over like that, just to get topple. Means just like this is moving, it's hit and it just like that it goes to the highest point. Since I have solved this question in the previous video and I have intentionally kept this question here for you all, so that you can revisit that video also, and you can enroll for your test also and get these things very well done. Am I right? Done. So next question. So I am leaving this as an exercise to you, because answer which comes out to be the similar. Only format is what? In previous question, block was moving here, block is kept here, bullet is about to hit, and it is also given m is smaller than m. So wherever you are finding m plus m, you may write m only. Am I right? Because bullet mass is very small as compared to the block which we are considering. Okay. Now question number 17. It's also very amazing question. This question says, this mass is m, it is sliding down, and everything is a smooth surface. It is getting to there only. Am I right? It is sliding along the track and it is getting to there only. So question said, what is the position of center of mass? What is the velocity of that value? And what is the x component of this mass, which we are to determine? Am I right? Now let's solve this idea. See, we have taken this side as x-axis. Am I right? And that value. We know there is no net horizontal force. So we can conserve the momentum in the horizontal direction. First point. Second point, we can say there is no displacement in the horizontal position for the center of mass. Am I right? So if you consider, when the block, block is going to slide down, what will happen? This will move in this direction. Am I right? And this has moved in this direction. Am I right? Again, we have just discussed previously Planck question that was to be determined as x. That was m into what? X relative displacement by total mass. By what, bete? Total mass. X relative. Am I right? Here x relative is this track only, but on the horizontal distance it is only what, bete? R. Am I right? And since it is moving towards left side, so this x must be negative, because in the question we have taken this side as what? Positive x. So I am just giving you direct answer for it, that x component will come out to be minus m into r by m plus m. You can see the formula. X-axis displacement of this wedge is equal to m into x relative by m plus m. That is the answer. Am I right? And if you see in the previous video of mock test 1, I have solved a similar question there. It was also very, very worthy. Okay, just note down that too. So this was there. And if you check out the velocity and how to calculate that velocity, so for velocity to be calculated, what is the initial potential energy? It is mgr, if you take this as a reference. Am I right? And when it get onto there, both this wedge and this has attained a velocity. You call this velocity as v naught. You call this velocity as v. So this mgr is nothing but what? It is what? Half m v naught square plus what? Half capital M v square. Am I right? This is written. And also the momentum conservation. Initial was what? 0. Final is what? M into v naught minus m into capital V. Am I right? So these two equations are enough to calculate the value of v naught, which is for you. Yes, beta. Yes. These are the questions, because pattern was there, and the concept which we are discussing are very, very important. Am I right? So I just want that when you are writing these exams, these are nothing very difficult. Am I right? Now, next question. 18th question we are doing right now. What is that? A cord is wound round on a circumference of a wheel. So, whenever you write a wheel, usually we say it is a disc. Am I right? If nothing is given, you treat it as wheel only. Am I right? So he said radius r is there, and we have wound some mass to there, and moment of inertia is given to as m, and a weight is attached, which was mg, and cord is down. The weight falls from rest, falling through the distance h. What is the square of the angular velocity? He said, what is the square of the angular velocity? Means what, bete? Omega square. What is the value of what? Omega square. See. What is the value of omega square? So what I will be writing from here, it has moved, and when it has drawn through the edge, gone through the height edge. So it has attained some instantaneous speed omega. So what I can write? I can write the energy principle, or whatever format you want to write. So let me write the energy principle. What is the value of the change in kinetic energy? It is only half I omega square, because this has attained some kinetic energy, and at this instant it has also attained some velocity v also. So what is the total kinetic energy change of the system? It is half m v square is equal to what? The work done. And who is doing the work done here in this case? Only gravity. So work done is what? mgh. Since pure rolling is happening because thread is not slipping, so v you can write what, bete? R omega. So you may put the values and you will be getting some relevant result to it. Okay, you will be getting some relevant result to it. So I'm just giving you this as an exercise. You must put your values and you'll be getting that result too. Am I right? Why I have written this? I tell you, because disc, this axle, this wheel was at rest. This mass was already at rest. When it has gone through down, it has attained velocity v. It has descended through height, through the it has descended through h. Am I right? So what is work energy principle? Change in kinetic energy is equal to the work done by the forces. Am I right? Now that change in kinetic energy could be translation or rotation. So I have seen the rotational kinetic energy of the wheel and translation kinetic energy of this mass, which is equal to what? Work done. And only one external force is acting here, which is mg, because since this wheel is fixed here, hinge force is also acting, which is holding it up, and capital mg is also acting, which is holding it up. Am I right? So that's why the wheel is fixed here. Wheel is experiencing mg, but that mg, that hinge force, they are not doing any work, and the work is only done by this mg, because it is displacing this thread by distance h only. Am I right? So this is the point. Yes, yes, beta, yes, very good. Question number next. A man travels 30 meter along 3 I cap plus j cap. It moves d meters perpendicular to the initial distance direction. So what is the total displacement which is along x axis? What would be that? So it is very simple question, beta. 30 meter along this direction. So if you are getting that value, you call that vector as a vector. Okay, that vector which is 30 meter along this direction. So this direction value is what? 3 I cap plus 4 j cap by 5. So we are getting what? 18 I cap plus 24 j cap. 24 what? J cap. This is the a vector which we have obtained. Am I right? And after that, he said that it moves d meter perpendicular to the initial. So let me draw the diagram here. This as x-axis, this as y-axis. So I have seen this a vector is this. Am I right? And this angle is what? 53 degree. 53 degree. And what is given to me? It moves the perpendicular to the initial direction. So this has moved perpendicular to the initial direction, so that the displacement is along x-axis. So it should be moving in this way, so that it has moved perpendicular to it, and this is d vector. Am I right? And this was the initial position, this is the final position. So you are getting your final displacement along x-axis only. You are getting your final displacement along what, beta? X-axis only. Is it clear? So we have to find the value of d vector. So it is very simple. It is very simple idea. Like this. Here, this one is 90. This one is d vector. This one is a vector. And asking is like, this was x. So this was how much? It was 53 degree. This is 90. This is 37. This is again 53. This is again 90. This is again 37 degree. If I tell you what is the value of d vector, so you will be saying, because you can see the pointing is in this direction. Am I right? When pointing is in this direction, so we will be having two vectors direction like this, which is opposite to y-axis, and one along this, which is positive x-axis. Am I right? So if I am writing for dx I cap plus dy j cap. So what is the value of dx? This is am I right? So what is the value of dx? What we are writing here now? We are writing dx as a vector like this. Am I right? And this one is what? dy. Am I right? So how to write that value? Now see, this was a. What was the value of a you have written? What was the value of a you have written? 18 I cap plus 24 j cap. A vector you have written 18 I cap plus 24 j cap. So one thing is very understood, that if a is having this value as 24 j cap a vector, so d vector must be having the value in the downward direction. So it must be minus 24 j cap. So I left with only x value. So how to find the x? Because there I found that is 24. Let me call it as dx just for the sake of convenience. And this angle is what? 90. So I can write dx and this is 24. So 24 by dx is what? It is what? 1037. What is 1037? It is something like 3 by 5. So what is the value of dx? Am I right? Sorry, beta. 3 by 4. 3 by 4. Am I right? 3 by 4. We are writing 3 by 4. So when we are writing beta 3 by 4, so dx comes out to be 24 into 4 by 3. So dx you are getting what? 832. Reading 32. I think idea is very clear. So we are getting 32 I cap. Am I right? So what is asked to us? It is find the displacement along x-axis and find the value of d. Basically, he is asking what is the value of d. Am I right? So if you are finding the value of d, so it should be 32 square plus of minus 24 square root as what? The d. You will calculate this value, you will be getting that result too. Am I right? Now question number 20 comes. It is also very simple. Simple question is like what? We have applied this force. Am I right? When we have applied this force, this tendency of this plank or rug is given, rough surface is there, rug is given, it is moved in that way. So it is moving in this direction. So friction has to act. Am I right? So friction will be acting in this direction for the rug. Why? Because this is moving in this direction. So this will experience the friction in backward direction. So this will move in, having the friction in this direction. Am I right? Due to which it will attain some AC as a center of mass acceleration, and also it will experience some alpha. Am I right? That is the angular acceleration. Am I right? So when we are solving this idea, friction. So I can write friction as what? Mass into AC as one of the result. Done. And friction is also providing me the torque. If R I take a radius and it is equal to what? I as moment of inertia, alpha as what? The angular acceleration as second part of it. Am I right? And third most important part, because this acceleration is A and this is moving with AC and there is condition is given, no slipping. Condition given is what, beta? No slipping. If no slipping condition is given to you, and you can see at this point, this is AC, this is also rotating with alpha. So what is the net acceleration here? AC plus R alpha. And this is in contact with this plank and it is having here acceleration as A. For no slipping condition, you can write AC plus R alpha is equal to what, beta? A. So what I can suggest to you, because in the question we have to find the value of F, you can use this idea of R alpha. Since cylinder is given, cylinder moment of inertia is what? Mr square by 2. Mr square by what, beta? 2. You put that values and you will be getting the result too. Am I right? Done. So I am leaving this as an exercise for you also, because you have to go with the calculation only, and the answer to this question is what? MA by 3. Done. Question number 21. It is also very important question and very simple also. A bob of mass m, which is attached to an inextensible string of length L and is suspended from a support. The bob rotates in a horizontal circle. Am I right? So what is in there? We have attached a bob here. We have given a horizontal velocity. It is moving like this. Are you getting my point? It is moving like this. So now question says, how about the point of suspension, how the angular momentum is changing? So I just want to discuss this idea. See, very simple. If you draw a circle like this, because this is asked, am I right? You draw a circle like this and it is asked that it is moving here and this is the point of suspension. This is the point of suspension. So when it is a point of suspension, it is moving like this. Am I right? It is moving like this. So you can see here it is getting inward. So this is V. Am I right? You can see this is R. You can say this is R. Okay. So this is moving. R is in this direction. V is inward. So momentum, angular momentum direction is in this direction. Am I right? Why you will say? Because L is like M R cross V. That is the format for the value of this. Am I right? So R is in this direction, V is in this direction, so R cross V. If you are getting the point here, then V is outward, am I right? And R is in this direction. So R is in this direction and V is what? R is in this direction and V is what? Outward. So it is acting in this direction. Am I right? L. So you have seen the value of L will remain same, but what has changed? Direction only. How? For this instant, L was acting in this direction. For this instant, L is acting in this direction. So it is sort of, the L is rotating like this. Are you getting my point? L is rotating like this. Am I right? So we can say the L is changing with the direction, but not the magnitude. So that is the answer for this question. Angular momentum changes in the direction, but not in the magnitude, because its value is always remaining the same. Yes. Done. Now next question. It is very simple question, just one liner answer. Whenever any sector is given to you, for the sector, whenever you have to find the coordinate of the center of mass y, whenever you have to find the coordinate, the center of mass y, so y is like, it is like 2r by pi, 2r by pi. That's it. Am I right? If any angle theta is given, it is like 2r sine theta by theta, something like that. Am I right? 2r sine theta by 3 theta. Because I tell you why. Because in this question, theta, there it was given as 30 degree. It was given as 30 degree. Am I right? It was given as 30 degree. So if I am writing here theta as 30 degree, so 2r sine 30 by 3, theta is what? Pi by 6. Theta is what? Pi by 6. Am I right? So I must be getting the value sine 2 theta. So what we are getting? 2r by 3, and this becomes 3 2s are 6. So 2 goes up. Sine 30 is what? 1 by pi. Sine 30 is what? 1 by 2. Pi is already there. 2 also get cancelled. So you got 2r by pi. Am I right? You got 2r by pi. How it comes? Let me see there also again. 2r. What is sine 30? 1 by 2. By this get cancelled. Pi by 2. 2 get cancelled. 2 goes up. So this becomes 2r by pi. So what I mean to say, if someone is asked like find theta, then this is the general answer for the y coordinate. And if someone is asking if theta is 30, then answer is what? 2r by pi. Because for a sector and for a disk semicircular, moment of inertia about that axis which is passing through the, like this, if you make a disk also, its moment of inertia, now it will become 4r by 3 pi. Am I right? But if it is like this only, semicircular, because if you make like this, am I right? If you make like this, now this theta will become pi by 2, put the value pi by 2 and you will be getting the relevant answer. I think idea is very clear. depending upon theta. Are you getting my point? How much is the distribution we have shown? So next point. This question is also very important. Say, this is there. This was the mass. It was given some force and it has moved up to there. This angle become, he said, makes an angle 45 degree. So this makes an angle 45 degree. You have applied the force F. Since you have applied, initial velocity was 0, final velocity is also 0. He said, what is that displaced until the value? So we are going to find the force. Am I right? So who is doing work here? I can say work is done by mg, work is done by the applied force, work is done by the tension, but we are gradually pushing it so that it can raise up to height of 45 degree, and that's why initial kinetic energy is 0, and so the final kinetic energy is also what, beta? 0. Am I right? So tension is not doing any work. So work done by the force F is nothing but minus of the work done by the mg only. Am I right? So you can see, since mg is acting down and it has been moved up by distance h, so work done by mg will be negative. So when you are putting its answer, you should put a negative sign and write the value for work done. Am I right? And what is the value of h, if you remember? Remember that was value. It was L. Am I right? If it was L, this was 90. This become L by root 2. This become total as L. So this become L minus L by root 2. So if you put that value, you will be getting the work done. And since we had to calculate force, so what is the value of the force F? And horizontal displacement is what? L by root 2, because this was 45. So F into L by root 2 is equal to work done by mg, which become now positive because negative is already there. Work done by this negative is coming because of this equation, and this negative is coming because of the nature of the work done by mg, which is negative. So negative becomes what? Positive. And how much height it has moved up? H. And value of h is what? If you remember, it was L 1 minus cos theta. Cos theta was what? 1 by root 2. Am I right? So this becomes root 2 minus 1. This becomes mgl root 2 minus 1 by what? Root 2. Root 2 cancelled. L cancelled. So we are getting F is equal to what? Mg root 2 minus 1 as the answer. I think idea is very clear to everyone now. So there comes the next question. It's also amazing question. You are applying the force here, which is at a distance b above, and you are just lifting this box up here, and this is the concept of beta toppling. This is the concept of what? Toppling. Am I right? So what does this mean? First, you are applying the force which is equal to the friction, which is mu mg. First part. It is here only, which is at B only. Am I right? And it is made to topple like this. It is made to topple like this. Am I right? So applied force is like that only. Am I right? And if you are applying the force, it is made to topple from this point. This side, how much is the side given to us for this? Of side A. Am I right? So this side is what? A by 2, because total side is A. So this is what? A by 2. So if you are applying the torque about this point, so what is the value of torque? Force as F. Am I right? Friction is also acting, but about this point, frictional torque will be 0. Normal action is also acting. Normal action torque is also what? 0. Am I right? Friction torque is 0 and normal action torque is also 0 about this point. So that's why we are focusing on it. So what is the torque applied by this? It is F. B is this value. This is what? A by 2. So this become B plus A by 2 as this value. Am I right? And this value of the torque is balanced by the mg. So where does the mg torque is acting? Downward. And this distance is what? A by 2. So this is like mg into what? A by 2. I hope you have understood this idea. Put the values. You will be getting that answer. The best part of this answer is it is given as 100 into 3 by 4. Oh, I have written directly. It was rather B by A, okay, beta. It was rather B by A, am I right? So this answer comes out to be 75. It was B by A, means what? When you rearrange this stuff, putting F as mu mg and solving this, you'll be getting the value b by 2 and then you will be getting that answer finally. Am I right? So here comes the last question of this session. Applied force is what? F. Applied force is what? F. Distance is what? L. He said, what is this point so that it will translate? So this must be for translation to happen, for translation to happen, applied force must be at the center of mass. Because if you apply the force at the center of mass directly, it will translate. Am I right? So center of mass. So let's calculate the center of mass value for this question. Am I right? So this must be the point C beta. Am I right? So this length is L. So mass will be writing here only. This length is 2L. So this mass is 2m, which is lying middle of 2L. Am I right? This point is C only. So I'm just drawing for your convenience. This is the rod. This is the rod whose length was L, mass is m. This rod was 2m. Length was 2L, mass is right here, which is what? 2m. This point is what? 2m. So what we are writing for the y coordinate for the center of mass? Coordinates for 2m is what? 2m. How far it is? L. Plus this one is what? M. How far it is? 2L. How far it is? 2L. By total mass is what? 3m. By total mass is what? 3m. I think idea is very clear. So what we are getting for YC now? 2 ml plus 2 ml, 4 ml by 3m. M get cancelled. So we are getting what beta? 4L by 3 as our final answer. So I hope you have understood these questions, which are very, very important. And most importantly, we have discussed this very shortcut formula for a sector. You must remember that too. And the factors which we have discussed are very simple. You have seen nothing was very difficult. It was quite easy. Fundamentals must be there because fundamentals are strong means advance is always strong. Are you getting my point? That is a simple logic for any competition. Am I right? So there comes the last question of the session. So best wishes from my side, your physics NEET mentor Neeraj Agnihotri sir, and definitely I will expect you that you should give toughest competition ever on 28th of September. Am I right? So there comes the final slide for us, score we are preparing for. So best wishes from my side. I want you should be getting these awards, scholarship, especially you will be tested by India's topmost faculty who will analyze your thoughts, who will work it along, help you to understand, help you to get the very new questions for you, which you might have tried or might not have tried. But I can say definitely, assure you, you will be getting some unique level questions, which will emphasize you that how much you have to put your efforts, where you are lagging and where you have excelled, because you will be getting 100% scholarship first from Sri Chaitanya Institute. Am I right? And in there, cash rewards, gadgets and 100% scholarship. Link is there. Must enroll. Don't forget to give competition to others. Be a competitor first. Am I right? Just get into the journey. So like, comment and share. It is very, very important because this boosts us very well. So I just want that our previous, the slides which we had earlier, like previous slides and previous sessions, if you go through all the sessions, it will be very fruitful for you. And like, comment, share and subscribe. And don't forget the bell button. I'll be waiting for that too. For any update, you will be knowing that. And don't forget to register 28th of September, 12th of October. Registration link is down there in the description. Don't forget, I'm saying you are the one who will definitely rise and shine. That is for sure. Am I right? So what is score? National level scholarship exam already happening. You will be getting rewarded and first initials from our institute for you for the best wishes in the form of every level of support so that you can crack final NEET and you can secure your rank, because cracking score means securing rank. Am I right? So compete with India's brightest students, that is for sure, because most of the students have enrolled with us. They are just waiting 28th of September, in which they will give you the competition, and I pray for you that you should also give the same competition to them, to all. Am I right? So next, it is eligible for grade number 3 to 11, and online offline mode is there. If you are finding any problem, helpline numbers are there for you. Just go with that. Don't forget, just go and compete. Very important. So last dates are there. 26th of September is still there, and 12th of October, 10th of October is there, because exams are happening at different centers at different dates, and wherever you are feeling feasible to go get into 28th, you just write, secure your seat. Done. Duration for our exam will be 120 minutes, which is very, very important. Like, comment, share, subscribe, bell button. Very important for this work as an oxygen for us. Am I right? Will give you the more difficult and the different level questions in a very shortcut way. So follow us on the Instagram, subscribe on the YouTube, join us our Telegram, get into the Google Store, and don't forget to follow us on the Facebook. Very, very important. And then thanks from my side. This side, Neeraj Agnihotri, your physics NEET mentor. Wish you all the very best for the SCORE exam. Finally, for the NEET also. Best wishes. God bless you. Thank you.